A woman's heart is one of the most valuable treasures in this world. It is soft enough to nurture, strong enough to endure, and wise enough to guide. But like any treasure, it must be guarded, not exploited. Too often, society celebrates a woman's ability to give, but forgets to teach her the power of protecting her heart. Today, I want to break down 6 key lessons on why her heart deserves protection. Her heart shapes generations. A woman is often the foundation of a family, and the love she gives shapes not just her children, but generations to come. When her heart is broken, her spirit is weakened, and it can ripple through everyone connected to her. Protecting her heart is not just about her, it's about the future she influences. Love without boundaries leads to pain. A woman has a natural gift of giving. She pours into others endlessly. But when she gives love without setting boundaries, she risks being drained, disrespected, and left empty. Protecting her heart means teaching her that it's not selfish to say no, it's necessary. Not everyone deserves access to her heart. One of the biggest lessons in life is learning that not everyone who asks for your love deserves it. A woman's heart deserves to be valued, not tested. Protecting it means being wise in who she allows to enter her life, because the wrong person can destroy what took years to build. Self-respect is the strongest guard. When a woman honors herself, she naturally teaches others how to treat her. Protecting her heart doesn't start with others, it starts with her. Self-respect creates a shield. It teaches her that she doesn't need validation from someone who doesn't value her, because she already knows her worth. Healing is a form of protection. Every woman will experience pain at some point, but healing is what keeps her heart from being permanently damaged. Unhealed wounds attract the same hurt again and again. Protecting her heart means committing to growth, forgiveness, and learning, so that her future is not dictated by her past. A protected heart gives pure love. When a woman guards her heart, she doesn't become cold or bitter. She becomes wise. And wisdom allows her to give love in its purest form. A protected heart loves with strength, clarity, and truth. That kind of love changes everything. It uplifts homes, relationships, and even communities. A woman's heart is not just a source of emotion. It is the foundation of families, the anchor of relationships, and the heartbeat of society. That is why it must be protected, not abused, and the first step toward that protection is understanding her worth, setting her standards, and never lowering them for temporary attention. Because when a woman protects her heart, she protects her destiny. When you look at the role of a woman in this world, you begin to realize that her heart is not just hers alone, it is a legacy in motion. The way she loves, the way she nurtures, the way she carries herself, it all pours into the people connected to her. A mother's heart shapes her children, a wife's heart influences her home, a sister's heart can encourage or discourage. Even in the workplace, a woman's presence, her patience, her emotional intelligence, it can shift the atmosphere. That is why protecting her heart is not just about keeping her safe, it's about preserving the generations that flow from her. Think about this: when a woman is loved properly, when her heart is protected and valued, she pours out peace, stability, and wisdom. Her children grow up seeing what healthy love looks like. They carry that image into their future relationships. Her partner feels her support and her faith, and it pushes him to rise higher. But when her heart is broken, when she's mistreated or constantly disrespected, it doesn't just affect her. It leaves a mark on the people watching her. Children who grow up seeing a broken mother sometimes carry that same pain into adulthood. Partners who take advantage of a woman's love may pass on dysfunction instead of security. That's why her heart is not something to play with. It is a responsibility. A woman who has been wounded may still smile, she may still function, but deep inside she can be carrying scars that shape how she shows up in the world. She may become guarded, bitter, or silent, and when that happens, the world loses the fullness of her gift. That's why protecting her heart is so important. It ensures that the love she gives out is not tainted by trauma or pain, but rooted in truth and wholeness. We must understand that her heart is a seedbed. Whatever is planted there, love, encouragement, or hurt, will grow and multiply. If you plant respect, she will water it and raise a family in dignity. If you plant betrayal and neglect, it will bear fruit too, but it will show up as distrust, insecurity, or cycles of pain passed down through generations. Protecting her heart is about planting the right seeds so that her legacy is one of strength and love, not suffering. So many women give until there's nothing left. They sacrifice themselves for their families, for their careers, for the people they love. But the question is, who protects the one who protects everyone else? That is why we must teach women to value themselves, to recognize that their heart is not just a place of emotions, but the foundation of futures. A woman's heart deserves protection because it has the power to impact not just her own life, but the lives of countless others long after she is gone. One of the most beautiful qualities of a woman is her ability to love deeply and unconditionally. Her heart has a natural rhythm of giving, nurturing, and sacrificing. But that same beauty can also become the very thing that leads her into pain when it isn't balanced with wisdom and boundaries. Many women are taught to give, to serve, to endure, but few are taught the importance of protecting their own capacity to love. Without boundaries, love can become a road that drains instead of builds, and it leaves her empty instead of fulfilled. When a woman loves without limits, she often finds herself giving chance after chance, forgiving betrayal after betrayal, and excusing behavior that chips away at her dignity. She convinces herself that if she just gives a little more, if she just proves her loyalty, then maybe the other person will finally change. But what usually happens is the opposite. The more she gives without requiring respect in return, the more she is taken for granted. People don't value what they can get without effort. If she makes her love too easy, too available, too unconditional without discernment, then she trains others to use her rather than honor her. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They don't shut out love, but they control what comes in and what goes out. A woman without boundaries opens herself up to relationships that drain her spirit. She might find herself in situations where she is constantly pouring but never being poured into. And over time, this imbalance leads to emotional exhaustion, resentment, and even a distorted view of her own worth. She begins to question whether she's enough, not realizing that the problem was never her ability to love, but her unwillingness to require love that honors her. Love should never cost a woman her peace, her dignity, or her sense of self. When love requires her to compromise her values or accept mistreatment, it is no longer love. It is control disguised as affection. The truth is, if she doesn't set boundaries, she will teach others that it is acceptable to use her heart without considering the damage they leave behind. But when she learns to draw the line, when she decides that her love will not be given to anyone who cannot meet it with respect, she takes back her power. The strength of her love is not proven by how much pain she can endure. The strength of her love is proven by how wisely she can give it. Love with boundaries says, I will give, but not at the expense of my soul. I will forgive, but I will not excuse repeated disrespect. I will pour into you, but I will not drain myself to keep you comfortable. That kind of love is powerful because it is rooted in self-respect. It teaches others that her heart is not a playground, but a sacred space. And when she understands this, she transforms from a woman who is used to a woman who is valued. One of the greatest lessons a woman can learn in life is that not everyone who asks for her love is worthy of receiving it. The heart is sacred, it is delicate, and it holds the power to change lives. But too often, a woman hands that power over to people who have no intention of valuing it. She gives her time, her trust, and her energy to someone who only came to take, not to give. And when that happens, she walks away feeling depleted, questioning her worth, and sometimes blaming herself for the damage done. But the truth is, the problem was never her love. It was her willingness to give it to someone who didn't deserve it. A woman must learn to be selective with her heart. Love is not something that should be handed out recklessly, because every time she opens her heart, she opens herself to influence. The wrong person can plant seeds of insecurity, fear, and doubt that take years to unlearn. The wrong person can make her feel like she has to fight for love that should flow naturally. And the wrong person can break her in ways that affect her confidence, her faith, and even her future choices. That is why it is so important that she learns discernment, the ability to see beyond words and recognize someone's true intentions. People can talk a good game, they can promise forever, speak sweet words, and paint beautiful pictures of the future. But actions never lie. A person who truly deserves her heart will not just talk about love. They will demonstrate it through respect, consistency, and sacrifice. A woman must remember that access to her heart is a privilege, not a right. It is not something someone earns simply by being present, but by proving that they are trustworthy, dependable, and aligned with her values. The danger of giving her heart to just anyone is that it makes her vulnerable to cycles of hurt. If she keeps letting the wrong people in, she will keep experiencing the same pain, and over time she may start believing that love itself is the problem. But love isn't the problem, lack of discernment is. When she understands that her heart is not a community center for everyone to come and go, but a sanctuary meant for those who honor it, everything changes. She stops settling, she stops begging, she stops lowering her standards just to feel wanted. Protecting her heart means raising the bar. It means saying, if you cannot love me in truth, if you cannot value me with respect, then you don't get access to me. That kind of strength doesn't make her cold, it makes her wise. It saves her time, it preserves her peace, and it ensures that when she finally does give her heart, it will be to someone who deserves the beauty of what she has to offer. Not everyone deserves her love, and once she accepts that truth, she takes the first step toward building a future rooted in real, lasting love. The way a woman sees herself sets the tone for how others will treat her. If she does not respect herself, she unintentionally gives others permission to disrespect her. But when she honors her own worth, she draws a line that no one can cross without consequence. Self-respect is not arrogance, it is not pride. It is the quiet confidence of knowing who you are, what you deserve, and refusing to accept less than that. It is the shield that protects her heart from being misused, because it doesn't allow her to settle for treatment that undermines her value. When a woman respects herself, she doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't lower her standards to keep someone who refuses to rise up to meet them. She doesn't confuse being wanted with being valued. Self-respect teaches her that temporary affection isn't worth long. Term pain and empty promises aren't worth her peace of mind. The more she respects herself, the less she tolerates behaviors that drain her, belittle her, or keep her stuck in cycles of disappointment. Many women fall into the trap of believing that love requires endless sacrifice, even when that sacrifice comes at the expense of their dignity. But true love does not demand that a woman lose herself in order to be loved. Real love flourishes when self-respect is intact, because respect sets boundaries and boundaries create safety. Without self-respect, her love can become an open door for mistreatment. With self-respect, her love becomes a gift that must be earned and protected. Self-respect is also the strongest example she can give to the world around her. Children raised by a mother who honors herself grow up learning what healthy love looks like. Friends, family, and even colleagues will think twice before crossing her because they know she doesn't tolerate disrespect. And in relationships, a partner who encounters a woman with self-respect either rises to the challenge of loving her right or leaves because they realize she cannot be manipulated. Either way, she wins because her heart remains guarded by her standards. It's important to understand that self-respect does not push love away. It attracts the right kind of love, the kind that honors, uplifts, and cherishes. When she sets the standard for how she is to be treated, she filters out people who are only there to take advantage of her openness. She creates an environment where love can be pure and mutual, not one-sided and draining. Self-respect is not a wall that keeps people out. It is a mirror that reflects her worth, reminding her that she is too valuable to be mishandled. When a woman truly embraces self-respect, she no longer chases validation. She doesn't need someone to prove her value because she already knows it. And that is the most powerful protection her heart can have. It shields her from lies, from games, from people who see her as an option instead of a priority. It keeps her steady, even when the wrong people try to enter her life. Self-respect is the guard that ensures her love is given only where it will be honored, and in that strength her heart remains whole. Every woman will face moments in life when her heart gets broken, whether by failed relationships, betrayal, disappointment, or even the weight of her own sacrifices. Pain is unavoidable, but what determines her future is not the pain itself. It is how she chooses to respond to it. Some women try to cover their wounds by pretending they're fine. Some harden their hearts so they never get hurt again, and some stay stuck in the memory of what was done to them. But the truth is, unhealed wounds only attract more pain. Healing, on the other hand, becomes the shield that protects her from repeating the same cycle over and over again. When a woman refuses to heal, she often keeps revisiting the same type of relationships, the same unhealthy dynamics, and the same disappointments. She may change the person, but the pattern feels familiar. That's because the unhealed parts of her heart silently influence her choices, drawing her to what feels familiar, even if it's toxic. Healing breaks that pattern. Healing is what allows her to recognize red flags early, to say no when her spirit feels uneasy, and to choose differently. It's not about erasing the past. It's about learning from it so she doesn't have to relive it. Healing is not easy. It takes courage to look at yourself in the mirror and admit, I'm hurting. I need to let this go. It takes humility to forgive, not to excuse the wrong, but to free yourself from carrying the weight of it. And it takes patience because healing doesn't happen overnight. but every step of the healing journey builds strength in her heart. It rebuilds her confidence, restores her peace, and teaches her that she can survive loss without losing herself. The most powerful thing about healing is that it doesn't just protect her, it protects everyone connected to her. A healed woman raises children who know what healthy love looks like. She attracts relationships that honor her growth instead of preying on her wounds. She creates a legacy where pain does not repeat itself, but instead strength and wisdom flow forward. By choosing to heal, she stops the cycle and rewrites the story. Some women believe that guarding their hearts means closing themselves off completely, but that's not protection, that's avoidance. Real protection comes from doing the hard work of healing, because a healed heart is not naive. A healed heart sees clearly. It knows its worth and doesn't confuse brokenness with love. Healing is like putting armor over her heart, not to make it hard, but to make it wise. It allows her to open up again without fear, because she knows she now carries discernment and strength that pain has taught her. At the end of the day, healing is a choice. It's a decision to stop letting the past control the future. And when a woman chooses healing, she is not just protecting her heart. She is protecting her destiny. She is making sure that the love she gives going forward is whole, pure, and rooted in wisdom, not pain. That kind of healing doesn't just change her life. It changes the lives of everyone who will ever be touched by her love. When a woman understands the value of her heart and chooses to guard it with wisdom, she doesn't become cold, distant, or unapproachable. In fact, the opposite happens. She becomes stronger, clearer, and more intentional with the way she loves. Protecting her heart doesn't mean she stops giving. It means she gives in a way that is healthy, balanced, and pure. A protected heart isn't bitter, it's wise, and wisdom makes her love even more powerful because it comes from a place of strength rather than desperation. Many people misunderstand the idea of guarding the heart. They assume it means shutting people out, being overly suspicious, or refusing to trust again. But true protection is not about living in fear, it is about living with standards. When a woman guards her heart, she doesn't stop loving. She stops allowing her love to be misused. She doesn't stop giving. She just becomes careful about who she gives to. And that shift makes all the difference, because her love is no longer scattered or wasted on people who don't deserve it. Instead, her love becomes intentional, powerful, and deeply transformative. A protected heart gives love that uplifts instead of enabling. It encourages growth in others because it comes with truth and accountability. A woman who protects her heart doesn't stay silent in the face of disrespect. She doesn't let unhealthy behavior slide just to keep someone close. Her love is pure because it is honest, it gives freely, but it also holds firm to respect. That kind of love doesn't weaken her. It strengthens her and everyone connected to her. When a woman allows her heart to be used or mistreated over time, the love she gives becomes clouded by pain. She may grow resentful, guarded in the wrong way, or even start doubting her own worth. But when she protects her heart, she breaks that cycle. She ensures that the love she offers is not mixed with bitterness, but flows from a place of clarity. She loves because she chooses to, not because she feels forced to. She loves with freedom, not with fear. And that kind of love is healing. It restores, it empowers, and it creates a safe space for others to grow. The truth is, the purest love comes from a place of self-awareness and self-respect. A woman who guards her heart knows that her love is valuable. She doesn't hand it over recklessly, but when she does give it, she gives it fully. She understands that her heart is not just a source of emotions, but a gift that can transform lives. That is why she protects it, so when she shares it, it comes without regret, without shame, and without compromise. At the end of the day, a protected heart is not a closed heart, it's a wise one. It is a heart that has learned the lessons of pain, embraced the process of healing, and chosen to love from a place of strength. And when a woman loves like that, her love is not only pure, it is powerful. It becomes the kind of love that builds families, restores broken spirits, and leaves a legacy that endures far beyond her lifetime. A woman's heart is not just another part of who she is, it is the very center of her being. It carries her dreams, her strength, her wisdom, and her love. When her heart is broken, it affects every area of her life. But when her heart is protected, when she values herself enough to set standards, to heal from pain, to choose wisely, and to guard her love with self-respect, she becomes unstoppable. Her presence changes homes, her love shapes generations, and her wisdom uplifts communities. The truth is, protecting a woman's heart is not about building walls. It's about building wisdom. It's about knowing that love is a gift, not something to be wasted on those who cannot appreciate it. It's about realizing that she is not defined by her scars, but by how she chooses to rise from them. It's about understanding that when she protects her heart, she is not just saving herself, she is saving her future, her family, and the legacy she will leave behind. So to every woman listening, know your worth. Stop giving your heart to people who cannot handle the weight of it. Stop lowering your standards just to feel wanted. Stop carrying wounds that are not yours to carry. Protect your heart because it is the most valuable treasure you have, and when you do, the love you give will not only be pure, it will be powerful, it will be healing, and it will be life-changing. Never forget, your heart is the soil where your destiny grows. Guard it, nurture it, and honor it, because when your heart is whole, you don't just survive, you thrive. And when you thrive, you give this world the greatest gift it could ever receive, the love of a woman who knows her worth.